Well, let's start with a very controversial sector, and it's very easy to understand. Let's talk about cryptocurrencies and digital payment systems that came roaring on the scene in 2020, and it raised billions of dollars given its growth potential. There's no question that blockchain will become part of financial services. It'll, in my view, over the next 10 years, become the 12th sector of the S&P. But the platforms that were set up first, and we can mention their names, because I certainly remember them, FTX and Binance. Now, together, they had 97% of the market share of the world's cryptocurrencies and potential for digital payments, because it's not just Bitcoin that this is about. It's about the ability to pay people around the world using an exchange. Now, obviously, we know what happened to FTX, and I remember because I lost $18 million. I'm not happy about that. And we've all seen what's happened to Binance, and that happened faster than anybody thought. So those guys are gone. They're the call them the pioneers, but they now have arrows in their back. You know, it doesn't. What happened with Sam Bankman-Fried and CZ? They're no longer with us, so to speak.
They're still alive, though.
But that doesn't change the potential at all of what crypto can be.
Welcome back to Money 101. Before the downfall of FTX, Kevin O'Leary enjoyed popularity and respect within the cryptocurrency community. Transitioning from skepticism to embracing the entire crypto space, O'Leary, known for his financial acumen, provides insights in his recent interview. Despite the challenges faced by FTX and Binance, the two largest exchanges globally, O'Leary asserts that the fundamental trajectory of crypto remains unchanged. He envisions crypto ascending to the 12th sector of the S&P and predicts explosive growth over the next decade. Conducting his interview in Abu Dhabi, a burgeoning crypto hub, O'Leary delves into his comprehensive crypto thesis. Stay tuned until the end of the video, where O'Leary not only breaks down his outlook on crypto, but also responds to the hypothetical scenario of starting anew at 25. And don't forget to subscribe.
That doesn't change the potential at all of what crypto can be. And I'll give you an example. This is a perfect example. There's a watchmaker in Geneva named Simon Britt. He's the next Picasso of watchmaking. That's the buzz amongst collectors. I'm a big watch collector.
Yes.
In fact, I got introduced to him through one of my collector friends right here in the UAE. And he's only going to make 5 prototype watches. And you have to be a collector. You've got to, petition him, explain why you should own it. And luckily, he agreed that I should own number 3. Now, how do I pay for it? Now, when you're that kind of a guy and you're well known, you get prepaid. So I had to figure out, how do I transfer, in this case, 40,000 Swiss francs for the down payment and another 40,000 when it came time to pick it up. And just by chance, here we are sitting together. I'm picking it up tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock in Geneva. So I'm going to leave your wonderful studio, get on a plane and fly to Geneva to pick this watch up. However, I went through hell to transfer the capital from New York, transfer it into Swiss francs. It took 3 days to do the wire transfer. Then I got absolutely screwed on the FX fees, transferring it from US dollars into Swiss francs. And that took even more time. I'm getting screwed on every level there, which really makes me unhappy. I don't like to pay for worthless services. If we had an M2 at the time, and I had an account on M2, and Simon had an account on M2, I could simply transfer any currency I wanted to him, or USDC, or a stable coin, or Bitcoin, whatever he wants, in a split second at a fraction of the cost. So the potential of what this could be is obvious in that use case, except multiply that by 1 billion times around the world. And so somebody's going to get it right. Someone's going to be compliant. Someone's going to have the capital to set this up. I think it's going to be M2. Now, this would be my 3rd time at bat. I did FTX, struck out. Binance, I'm so lucky I didn't invest in that thing. And now I got one I can do that with. I'm thinking this is going to be the one. First thing I had to figure out when I got here and watched what was happening is, as I said, okay, I invest in exchanges. I think if you could have invested in the New York Stock Exchange the day it was founded over 200 years ago, and the NASDAQ, and owned those through all the economic cycles, they were fantastic investments. That's how I feel about M2. So how do I get a piece? that's the problem. It's private. And
Right.
so, however, I'm an industrious guy. I found out that Phoenix Technologies owns 30% of it. Phoenix is going public on the ADX here in Abu Dhabi.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to figure out, how do I get a piece of Phoenix? I could buy the shares. That's what I found out. So I'm using International Securities, which is the biggest brokerage firm I could find in Abu Dhabi. I could download the app in the US. I set up an account. I put it in order. And now I have access to M2. Now, if you're an American, you can't open an account on M2, but you can own the stock, which is what I want. And so that's what I did. I'm very excited about it. And I think this is going to be one of the biggest exchanges in the world, because it's being built off the backbone of the financial services sector of Abu Dhabi, totally compliant. Mm-hmm. And the management has already made their announcements about how transparent they're going to be. I'm very excited about it. Yesterday, I walked through the compound, the ADGM, where we were holding the Finance Week. I had over $1 million worth of watches on my wrists. I would never do that in any other city. I feel 100% safe, and I wore them at night. I walked back to my hotel at night with over $1 million worth of watches on my wrist, not worried for a moment. I have lost stuff when I'm here, only to have it returned to my hotel room a day later.
Yeah.
When an Uber driver or taxi driver found it. I mean, there is no place like this on earth. There just isn't. And when people ask, particularly if you look at the ranking of a city like Abu Dhabi, for example, it's been the safest city on earth for almost 7 years.
Yeah.
And women feel safe. It's the people, the culture, the food, the economy, the policy. All of this stuff comes together, and the only way you're going to appreciate it is you got to come here. People say, it's just like another, Middle Eastern country.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get it. And the reason they don't get it is because they haven't been here. And so everybody that comes here figures it out and says, wow, I got to be part of this. At least if you're an investor, you do. For me, your portfolio should have at least 5% weighting specifically in the UAE, given the growth of this jurisdiction. And you do it by using the ADX. And so the ADX is rapidly becoming the exchange in the region. Mm-hmm. And a lot of IPOs are coming here. And there's a co-listing agreement. I think they just signed one with the New York Stock Exchange last week. So I'm all over it. So, I open an account. I have an ADX account. Mm-hmm. Watch what happens next. Well, I look at it from the perspective of an investor. I mean, it's one word. It's growth. Yeah. UAE equals growth. That's exactly what it is. And so I look at it that way. But also you have to understand how to work with the regulator here. What I found interesting about the last week I've been here, I got access to leadership. I was able to sit down and talk to them about the different areas I'm interested in investing in. They pointed me to other entrepreneurs that have already done it so I can buy into their deals. It's very cooperative. It's very transparent. It's very open. And the regulator is wide open to discuss what you can and can't do here. And so all the professional services, law firms that I use in New York are established here. The audit firm we use, our regulator, we understand what we have to do. So a lot of infrastructure has been put to work over the last, I'd say, 15, 20 years here. And it's wide open for business. And that's why you find billions of dollars coming here. I mean, they get the joke here. You know what I mean? They understand what they need to do to be successful, and they're doing it.
If you were 25 now and you had to remake all your money, what would you do? If someone's listening now and they want to make a little bit of money, but they don't know where to start.
I'd move to Abu Dhabi. Yeah. There's that old saying in that movie, Plastics, you move here. There's just so many growth sectors. People are ignorant about UAE. They think that everything is energy. What's interesting, at Finance Week, I don't think we talked about energy once. 5 years ago, that's what you talk about. Yeah. But I don't think I heard the word hydrocarbon once. It's all about other sectors that are growing. There's a lot of excitement about AI. We talked about it. There's a lot of excitement of digital payment systems. There's a lot of excitement about everything. And it's which means that the strategy to diversify the economy away from energy is working. And even hosting the UN climate conference today, it starts today. It's here, which makes a lot of sense to me, because what you find in terms of advanced technology, and I'm planning to try and bring some of this back. We run a mandate for the state of North Dakota, and we're expanding that. So we're investing in North Dakota, and we need carbon sequestration. Well, a lot of the advanced technologies were adapted here first, and so we're going to bring some of that back there. There's a lot of, there's a lot you can learn here that's already been done here. A lot of some very interesting technology already been spent here. So you just have to do the work. But you will find, you talk to any minister and say, look, I'm interested in this. They'll tell you 5 guys to call right away. They know. And so we did that with AI. We immediately found one of the biggest producers here and said, let's experiment with you. Let's try your technology. And see how you can do Mr. Wonderful that speaks Arabic.
Here's Kevin O'Leary shedding light on the dynamic and constantly evolving landscape of the cryptocurrency realm. Kevin's transformative journey from skepticism to advocacy underscores the need for continuous learning and adaptability in an industry marked by perpetual innovation and change. In the midst of challenges surrounding major exchanges like FTX and Binance, Kevin maintains a steadfast perspective on the crypto future. His foresight, envisioning crypto as the 12th sector of the S&P with potential explosive growth in the coming decade, offers a compelling perspective for both seasoned investors and those new to the field. Filming from Abu Dhabi, swiftly emerging as a global cryptocurrency hub, Kevin's insights carry an additional weight of contemporary relevance. Thank you for your attention, and be sure to hit that subscribe button for more updates.